Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles, coming at you with another toy review. And this time we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Last Jedi Finn Resistance Fighter figure. And this is from the Star Wars The Last Jedi toy line from Hasbro from 2017. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the packaging. So packaging pretty standard. So we have the nice white background with the red Star Wars logo, which looks really good in contrast to each other. And then the right side of the package, we do have a really nice image of Finn on there. Now this toy line, they don't actually have like a specific logo for the toy line. Like Episode 1 was Darth Maul, and the Darth Vader mask was for Episode 3. This is just, every figure has its own picture, and if there's the same character with multiple different figures, they actually have individual pictures for that type of figure, which is pretty cool. And then it says Finn Resistance Fighter. This is part of the Force Link line. And then as we go to the back of the package, it pretty much is the one gigantic ad for the Force Link, which shows the Finn figure and how to use it, if it actually worked that way really well. And then it also shows the little ad for that as well, with the StarWars.com and StarWars.Hasbro.com information, and all kinds of, half the package is just all kinds of warnings and all that stuff and production stuff. So very bland back of the package, but obviously what's inside is most importantly. So let's get this guy opened up. Alright, so getting Finn Resistance Fighter figure out of the package. One thing I want to say right off the bat, because I actually heard a lot of negativity on this figure, is that it's the exact same figure from the Force Awakens. That is not the case at all. Everything is different. Everything. His gun is molded differently. Every part of his body is molded differently. This is a 100% new molded figure, and I think this improves on the look of the Force Awakens figure and character, but goes much beyond that. I mean, the first thing is, first off, his pants are totally different color, as well as he has different boots. He just had the little white stormtrooper shoes on before, and that's all different. And the jacket obviously it's the same jacket, but it's molded differently. Everything's molded differently, and it looks great. Even down to the painting, like he's got this little badge here that's actually more of a silver paint here. I mean, everything just looks really good. I mean, it's a totally new head sculpt. Everything on this guy is new. The old one had a little hole in the back because he had one of those secondary little things that came with him that you could attach to him, which was like the gimmick of the Force Awakens toy line. And he's got the smooth back, and like I said, everything's molded on this guy, and it's much better. And there's a lot of little subtle details on here, which I'll show in a little bit, that are really great. But pretty standard articulation. He has that ball joint head, so you can pull his head off and put it with any other figure in the Last Jedi or the Force Awakens toy line. He does move with the arms, and his legs do move, and that is it as far as articulation. Now, he has a Force Link figure, so he does have that Force Link logo on his side, and he comes with a nice gun, like I said, which is a different mold of this gun, which is really cool. I was actually just thinking they were just going to recycle that, and they didn't do that. But let's take a closer look at each section. Taking a look at his head, you know, it looks really good. It's a really nice sculpt for John Boyega. Obviously, this is a 3 3/4 inch figure, so they can only do so much, but they did a great job with him. Everything looks good. I mean, he just looks good. I mean, this definitely looks like John Boyega as far as the figure's concerned. And one thing to note is like all the detail, like the little parts of his jacket that go down, the little strips, they are much like more finely detailed than last time. They were very, very poorly done before. Now they're really sharp. Like when I line them up like that, you can see like the individual little ridges, which is really, really nice. And probably one of my favorite features on this guy, I mean, it's very subtle. I mean, you'd have to look for it, is if you look on his right shoulder, which is on the left of the screen, right here, you can see where he was stabbed with that little hilt part of the lightsaber, or that little, the cross part blade that came out of the lightsaber when he was up against the tree fighting Kylo Ren, and it's stitched up. So this is the exact same jacket he's wearing. It's not like a new one. You know, he's actually stitched up where he got wounded, which I think is a phenomenal thing that they did. And then you can see his little V-neck shirt, which was totally different color than what he had in the Force Awakens. He had that black undershirt. Midsection, like I said, the jacket's awesome. This part is technically the jacket could probably come off with some doing. It'd be very difficult. It looks like it would kind of make the figure look funny, but this part is free flowing on him down here, which is pretty cool. Belt looks great. Obviously the last figure didn't have a belt, and it has the, you can see the blue pants, but you can see the detailing and the paint in this guy. I mean, he's really, really nicely done. And different molded hands. I mean, everything is different on this guy. As we go to the back, another one of my favorite features, and it's kind of hard to see here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better. There is the lightsaber slash that Kylo Ren did that knocked him down and basically put him out of commission in the end of The Force Awakens, and that's stitched up. I think that is such a cool touch, especially for a 3 3/4 inch figure that they added that. I mean, obviously we're probably going to see that in the movie, that he's still got that same jacket. It's all battle damage. I think that is absolutely fantastic that they did that, and it's represented here in toy form. Now this is the same size gun as the last, or the Force Awakens, but everything is just molded much, much cleaner. I mean, it's like if you were to compare these two guns side by side, this just looks clean. Like it's like they retooled it and they just made the mold better, because every little detail is actually more fleshed out down to the buckle and all the little spaces and holes and rivets. They didn't have that in the last one. It was just like more of a glob looking gun. It wasn't as finely detailed. As we go to the other side of the gun as well, I mean, this side, I mean, looks really, really cool. But it's, like I said, they probably maybe used the same size mold, but everything's just detailed better, where it's just, this one just looks so much better. And it's a different color. This is like a gold, and the last one was like a silver one. And you can see his feet with his boots, and you can see, you know, they look really good. Everything's molded great. He's got the bunched up pants. The molding looks good. I mean, overall, they did a good job with this guy. I think it's a, you know, really, really nice figure, and I think a lot of people are going to miss this figure because they just think they don't want another Finn that looks exactly like the one before, and that's not the case at all. Now this is a Force Link figure, so you can use that Force Link device, which is this guy right here. We'll turn it on. I haven't even tried it on this guy yet. Very difficult to use. It doesn't function the way they really want it to. You can put it on your wrist, or, you know, it doesn't really function that well. Even if I've had kids try it, it doesn't work. Also, getting it to say different sayings sometimes can be really, really difficult, because it can do, supposedly if you shake the character or move it fast, it's supposed to make blaster noises, and he's supposed to have multiple different sayings. And a lot of times you just get him to repeat the same thing he says over and over again, and sometimes after like a third playthrough with the figure, you might get him to say something different that you've never heard before, and I've had that happen with numerous figures. But let's get this guy turned on, if it will turn on. There we go, and let's try.
Name's Finn. I'm in charge.
Get some blasting. Come on. Not really saying much. Come on.
Do exactly as I say. I can get you out of here.
See if we can get him to say something else. Come on. This figure actually makes a lot of the sound effects, which is pretty cool. I couldn't get the other ones to say anything.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
Come on.
Do exactly as I say. I can get you out of here.
So, one thing to note, so obviously a lot more sound effects. Most of the phrases sound like they're come right out of The Force Awakens, probably because they don't want to give everything away in this movie. But I will say, this is another one of the figures which I'm actually surprised sounds like the character. Rey doesn't sound anything like Rey. Luke Skywalker doesn't sound anything like Luke Skywalker. And this sounds like John Boyega. This is, you know, basically an exact clip of his voice. The only other figure that really sounded like human-wise that sounded really, really good was the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. Was basically right out of the movies and A New Hope and stuff. Now there's some other great figures with the Force Link. You know, Chewbacca sounds like Chewbacca. I mean, they'd really have a hard time messing that one up. I think Yoda was pretty good, and then like C-3PO sounded good, and then the masked version of Kylo Ren, which came with this device, was pretty good. But most of the other ones, they don't sound really, really good. Same thing, like the DJ figure didn't sound like Benicio del Toro. And let me see if I have a Luke Skywalker figure here. Let's see if I can get him to make him.
What do you know about the Force?
It just sounds like they got some generic guy off the street that they thought looked like Mark Hamill or something to make the sound. It's just unfortunate that some of the figures sound. I mean, this is obviously right from the movie. I don't know why they couldn't do that with Luke Skywalker and some of the other characters, which is really unfortunate. And just to show you, here's another Luke Skywalker figure.
May the Force be with you.
Doesn't sound like Mark Hamill at all. I mean, it's really funny. And then you get one that actually.
I'm in charge.
That's straight from the movie. So I don't know why they couldn't do that, which is really, really weird. Finally, for size comparison, here we have the Luke Skywalker Last Jedi figure, the first one that was released, and then we have the Finn figure, the Resistance fighter. And you can see the size looks good. You know, I'm assuming at some point, hopefully, Luke Skywalker will meet Finn. Finn's one of my favorite new characters in this new trilogy. I think that John Boyega did an amazing job, and I really, really like him. And he really, when he's on screen, he really steals the show. He's really, really good. But let me show you. Let's put the other Finn figure up here. You can kind of see. It's just not that good. Now this is the standard 3 3/4 inch one from the Force Awakens. They have a black series, and there's a couple other figures of him. I think there's an armor up version, but this is the other one. You can see it's obviously totally different looking. I mean, everything about it, the way his arms, the legs are spaced. I mean, everything's different. The head, his head on the figure on the left, the Force Awakens one is larger. I mean, this is not the same figure at all. I mean, you can see it right there. Maybe I'll do a comparison to actually compare them if I get the time, but you can definitely see it's not the same figure. So if you're looking at that and you're turned off by that, just remember, everybody buys Han Solo figures. There's like 15 different versions of Han Solo. He's just dressed a little different, but he always pretty much looks like Han Solo. This is the same idea for this guy, and we're gonna get that same thing with Poe Dameron. They wear the same things. They kind of got that standardized outfit that they like to wear, and that's just the way it's gonna be. But these figures, they are doing a good job to kind of vary them. They could have just stamped on a new thing and changed some of the stuff, and cashed in on that, and they didn't do that, which I think is really, really good. So definitely don't miss this figure. The Force Link sound is one of the best as far as the humans are concerned. Like I said, I've only really ran into Obi-Wan Kenobi as the human that actually sounded like that actual character, because it's basically a sound file right out of the movies. But once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.